Jake, you're obviously emotional. It's going through your mind. The season comes to an end, but you did get to coach your first March Madness game, and you saw your team respond in the second half.
Yeah, that was, 20 minutes of kind of what we've been about all season, playing together, playing tough, showing the fight necessary to win. We came up one play short there in the last 20 minutes. But, yeah, it was an emotional locker room. I asked these guys in June to embrace being a family and to embrace, being one of the hardest working or the most hardest working team in the country. And those two things our guys followed through on all season long. We overcame adversity all year, overcame the adversity of this game like this team has shown. We got a great group of guys on this team, and I want them to remember, this journey and just as much as, the outcome.
What game kind of indicative of the season? The first half kind of didn't go your way, and then down the stretch that looked like an Ohio State team that everyone thought could make a run in this tournament. Heard you were very emotional, fired up at halftime. What did you say to the guys to get them to come out and truly fight like that?
Just wanted to see our team out there, and wanted us to just be who we've been. And they did. This is a group that's responded all year. Certainly wish we hadn't been in that hole going into halftime, but like our guys have, they showed the fight and the resiliency to get out and took the lead and, did some things really well, just not quite enough, down the stretch. But, yeah, it was never a question of if this team was going to respond. We knew they would, and, yeah, they did. They sure did.
What was the play call there? I mean, you put the ball in Bruce's hands in the final March moment. That's probably how you draw it up in the fall. Yeah, we wanted to get him on the run. And we had outlets down the floor, for him to advance it and make a decision. He got us to this point, and the ball needed to be in his hands to help make that deciding factor. And I don't know what happened exactly down the court. My eyes were more fixed on him. I thought TCU did a good job corralling the ball, and maybe that blocked his vision on some of that stuff. But, man, he had a big-time shot, a couple possessions before. Just proud of him and what he's done, and proud of this team. What'd you share with him after the game?
That I love him, that he'll always be a part of our family. And I think it's not just him, it's all those guys. Like, those guys bought into what we wanted to do, and we took an important step for our program. And he was a huge reason for that.
A lot of guys returning here. Amari took a major step this year. Mobley helped lead this comeback in this game. How do you look at forward here? I know it's frustrating. I know you wanted to be playing on Saturday, but the future looks bright.
Yeah, listen, I think today's for reflection. And tomorrow we'll start to turn the page. But I want our guys to remember the love that was shared in the locker room today. I want our guys to remember the adversity we overcame to get to this point, and in the dinners and the games and the practices and all the stuff that led into getting here. So we'll reflect on that. But yeah, this is college basketball, so you got to move on quickly. But I'm really proud of the growth that guys made in this program this year individually, certainly as our program as a whole. But the growth guys made individually this year was really impressive. Credit to their work ethic, credit to our staff, and excited about what the future holds for us.
Thanks so much, Coach.
All right.